Yo, what's good, everybody? This is the Love the Game Pod. It's our 31st episode. For those of you that don't know, my name is Ray.
31.
Marco.
Kobe,
You
man.
know,
What's up?
I wanted to introduce, a special
Oh, my
guest.
fault. My fault.
Yeah.
Go ahead, gang.
No, 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 you're good.
I
You're
stole
good. You're
your
good.
scene. My
Bro,
fault.
you're good. You're good. You're good, bro. Nah, when to introduce my special guest, you know what I'm saying? Um, Mr. Kobe Scales, I'm not gonna pop it too much for you, bro, but tell us a little bit much tell the pod a little bit about yourself, bro.
So you wanted to introduce me, but you ain't want to talk about me. You wanted me to talk about myself.
Yeah, like kind of, bro.
Nah, it's
Like
good, bro. I know my guy Ray for a minute, man. Went to Morehouse after I
wow,
graduated. Um, Went to Syracuse, got my master's from there. Graduated a couple months ago, and yeah, man, we figuring it out. We figuring it out.
yes,
Got my
sir,
own
yes, sir.
pod too. Um, Game Recognized Game Podcast. Yeah,
Yes, sir. We gonna put that in the description and all that.
for sure.
So yeah, for this episode, and also Kobe, if you don't know, like we basically try to teach people basketball through, health and then also just like journalism, media, etc. So today's episode, since the league is almost like basically about to be over, we wanted to basically give our predictions for the end of the year. You know, obviously we all know the awards. For those who don't know, those awards consist of like Coach of the Year, all rookie teams, all NBA teams, all defensive teams, um, Rookie of the Year, Most Valuable Player, Most Improved Player, and I think the Clutch Player of the Year. I think that's everything off the top of my head, but I wrote everything down. So
Yep.
yeah, to start off, category. Before we do that, I actually wanted to give a shout out real quick to the WNBA because they finally got their CBA negotiation figured out.
For sure.
We talk about the WNBA a little bit. We know we have like a little bit of a WNBA audience. So before we started, like I kind of wanted to get y'all's reactions, because I feel like this is a really good thing. I'm really excited for the W season. Yeah,
Um, I think it starts with what you were talking about, being excited for the WNBA season, right? Like,
yeah,
I think the one of the biggest issues that we've seen, um, and I think it goes way farther back than this, but most recently goes back to Brittany Griner having to go to Russia and play, right? And
mm,
I think that was kind of I don't want to say I don't want to say that's what propelled it, and then people hear me and be like, "Yo, he tripping." Like we've been fighting for this for way longer than that, but I think that circumstance happening propelled the situation to a new height. And what I mean by that is like women have been going to different countries to play in during the off season for a very very
facts,
long
facts.
time, right?
Yeah,
Um, and I don't think that anybody was okay with it, but it had become kind of the norm, so to speak, for
yeah,
women's basketball players, right? And so I think because it had kind of become the norm, nobody had really batted an eye. But I think when that Brittany Griner situation happened, we were like, all right, we have to find a way to pay our players enough to be able to stay in the States during the
yeah,
offseason. And so I think once that happened, we kind of revamped the conversation and took it to a new height, which I'm glad we did. But with that being said, like you said, excited for the WNBA season. We almost didn't have a WNBA season. I think that's
mhm,
what the scariest part about the whole situation was. Is like, all right, we fighting for something, but we about to lose a season in the process of that. Like we about to have a
yeah,
lockout
yeah,
in the process, while we fighting for these women to be able to get their due diligence, get what they deserve,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so, like I said, I think it goes back to what you were talking about is in being excited. And so, I'm glad that we finally got to the end of this. I'm glad we finally got to a place where women are starting to get what they deserve. I still think that we have a long way to go, in terms of monetary value. I don't know how true the reports are, but they were talking about Asia Wilson's contract and like what she's gonna get. They were talking about something crazy like 1.5 mil.
Yeah,
That
I saw that too. That's like
The
the
Supermax is
max, yeah, the
1.4,
super
they said,
max,
yeah.
yeah, super
Yeah.
max. Yeah.
I don't know if y'all cuss on here, but that is insanity. That is pure insanity. And there
Yeah.
are so many other words that you could use to describe what Asia Wilson getting 1.5 million is, but that the best word I can find without using profanity is insanity, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I
you're
get that. I
talking
get
about
that.
probably the best woman basketball player on planet Earth getting 1.5 mil. LeBron wouldn't even suit up for 1.5 mil, you know?
True. That's true.
And so I think it's just like I said, we have a long way to go, but I'm glad that we're starting to get somewhere. I mean, everything has to have a starting place, right? So
Yeah.
I'm glad that
Facts.
we finally started the conversation, and I'm glad that we got to a point where we're like, all right, we're not going to lose the season. This is what it is for now. We'll get we'll revisit it in a couple of years after the new CBAs and the new TV deals and all of that. But yeah, bro, I'm just glad that we have a season, and I'm glad that we got it done.
Mm. And before I go to you, Kobe, you got a team you rooting for this year?
Um, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't have a team that I'm rooting for. I have a lot of players that I'm rooting for.
Okay. Okay.
Sadly, not even sadly. Sadly, Rakia's situation is what it is. But uh, my co-host P was at Tennessee for a while
Mm.
before he left there. And so he was coaching Rakia. So I've been watching some of the Tennessee. I've been watching Tennessee women's basketball for a while. So Rakia had become one of my favorite players, and I know she was in that stacked class with a whole bunch of other
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
women, right? But the Rakia situation is sad, but I want to see her have a great season. But yeah, that's just a name off of a list of names that I could go down as far as people that I'm rooting for that I want to see have a good season. Um, Obviously, it's always nice to watch Asia hoop, you know. But yeah, I got a lot of women that I want to see do good. Want to see Angel do good, of course.
Mm.
But yeah.
Yeah. Cole, what's your reaction to everything that's going on with the W?
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway is I'm super happy for the players just like not fortunate enough to play in the Unrivaled League, who like as Kobe said were like unsure if they would see a paycheck or not from the WNBA this season because those are the ones that like the lockout would hurt the most.
Mm.
Like the players who were able to play in Unrivaled and get a paycheck from there, they had a little bit more leverage with this situation. But a player who because there are like 50 players in Unrivaled and there's like 150 in the WNBA. So those 100 players that weren't fortunate enough to be in Unrivaled, there's definitely a very scary situation for them, especially. So I'm happy, especially because the minimum contract is going up from $66,000 to a little bit above $300,000.
Yeah.
And like, while the Supermax being 1.4 million is like very, very low for like a professional sports league, looking at it, the salary cap before the CBA was only 1.5 mil. So this is definitely a nice stepping stone deal where you bring the Supermax contract up to like around the level where the whole salary cap was in the last CBA. So I'm honestly happy that um it came to a conclusion this fast and they got like this level of deal where they felt as though that they could settle now before the season started and didn't have to hold out during the season. Because I think this says a lot about how the WNBA Players Association felt about this deal. The fact that they were willing to like settle now and not hold out during the season to like look for even more.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Appreciate those words from y'all. We're talking about the NBA final season award predictions. My first category I wanted to bring up was Coach of the Year. Do you guys care if I say my guy first and then y'all can say y'all people?
You
All
got
right.
it, bro.
Go ahead, bro.
So, Coach of the Year that I have is Joe Mazzulla, and I did that because he's coached very well with arguably, I guess you could say like weaker quote unquote NBA players. You got guys like Jordan Walsh. You got guys like Neemias Queta who just came up out of nowhere. The Celtics are still in finals contention even with Jason Tatum just coming back. And Jalen Brown is having a or not a finals MVP season, an MVP season. And I know obviously a lot of that goes to their talent, but I think a lot of that goes with Joe Mazzulla and his system that they have going on.
I got Joe Mazzulla too. I hate giving this team credit, man, but I do really like Joe Mazzulla. I think he's a really funny guy, like really insightful guy. I love like listening to his interviews, and I think his philosophy on basketball is like very, very smart. You see, like every single year the Celtics seemingly have a good team. And this year and the year where like a lot of people counted them out, and
Mm.
some people to the point we were even saying this was a pause year, and it might be like tanking for a guy at the top of the lottery. And there we see this team is competing for a championship, and Jason Tatum is back, and they're a top three seed in the East, and they pretty much have been all year. And they've been one of the probably three best teams in basketball if you're looking at
Yep.
that rating. So I definitely got to go with Joe Mazzulla too. Um,
Yeah, Kobe,
I
you got.
yeah.
Oh, my fault. My fault.
No, that was all. Yeah.
Um, yeah, bro, I'm gonna take a different route. Um,
I like that. I like that.
I really like what Joe Mazzulla has done, but for the simple fact, and here's the thing, I really appreciate what Joe Mazzulla has done, but I think we all knew how good of a coach Joe Mazzulla was.
Mm.
I think that the interesting thing about the Joe Mazzulla situation is that we know how good of an organization the Boston Celtics are. And I'm a Lakers fan. I know y'all are probably
Hey,
Philly fans. Y'all are
yeah, we
Philly fans.
Sixers
So
fans, bro. We get it,
yeah, I was
man.
about
We
to
get
say. So nobody want none of us are here to give the
it.
Celtics credit. But what we can't deny is that the Boston Celtics are a really good organization, which
Yeah.
means and I don't want to discredit what they have done. I don't want to discredit what JB has done. Um, but what I do want to say is that the players I believe are getting a lot less credit than they deserve.
I,
Um,
I get that. I get that. Yeah.
and the only reason I say that is because there were probably players in the ranks that they had that they knew how good they were. Nobody else just knew how good they were. You know, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like all of the players that we can mention about on the Celtics team, like they probably knew how good they were. You know what I'm saying? Now that doesn't take away from the coaching job that Joe Mazzulla has done. That doesn't take away from the MVP caliber season that Jalen Brown has had. And I know we're gonna get to MVP, so I won't
Mm.
speak on that too much. But I think I'm gonna take a different route. I'm gonna go JB Bickerstaff from
That's not a
Detroit,
bad pick. It's not a bad pick.
and the reason being, um, 2 years ago, if we remember, JB Bickerstaff took took Cleveland
Yeah.
to their first Eastern Conference Finals appearance since LeBron had left. Their
Yeah.
first Eastern Conference Finals appearance in what was it? I think it was like 6 or 7 years or something like that.
Mm.
Um and he gets fired for it. And everybody's like, that's kind of crazy. But understandably at the time the Cavs felt like they had come up on a great player in Donovan Mitchell and they were building something that JB Bickerstaff wasn't going to be able to put on Front Street,
Yeah.
you know. Um and so because of that, they fire him to go and get somebody else. Okay, cool. He ends up in Detroit. The year before he gets there, Detroit wins all of what I want to say something like 14 games and had the longest losing streak in NBA history. I remember it was going
Mm.
crazy on Twitter. We were all like counting like, "Oh my god, are they going to break the record for the
Yeah.
longest losing streak in NBA
Yeah. I
history?"
think
Like,
we held the record before then, right?
I
Yeah, I
think
didn't want
so.
him to get it. I didn't want him to take our chain.
Yeah. And so he ends up in Detroit. And so the year before that, we understand how bad they were. Now they end up making the playoffs last year, and
Mm.
we understand that this was a young, budding, bright roster. But I think to then, I know we all knew how wide open the East was. But if you'd have told somebody at the beginning of this season that Jalen Duren was going to be who he was going to be, you know what I'm saying? That Cade, I think we all knew how good Cade was. I don't know if we knew he was this good. I don't know if we knew that Jalen Duren was this good.
Yeah.
I don't know if we knew that this Pistons team was a a first place in the East team, even with the East being as wide open as we all thought it was, with obviously the injury to Jay Tate, the injury to Tyrese Halliburton.
Mm.
Like we knew the East was wide open. Did we know Detroit was going to be first in the East? I don't know. Now, that being said, obviously their season looks kind of shaky now. Came out today that Cade has a collapsed lung or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So
He's
now
gonna
their
be out for
season
some
looks a little
time.
bit interesting. But I think for what they've done, for what he's been able to do in 2 years in Detroit, he's done something that I don't think we ever thought we would see out of Detroit. I mean, going back to Malice in the Palace days, right? Like since they
Mhm.
tore it down since then,
Yeah.
it's been a very interesting tumultuous situation over there. And so what he's been able to do over the past 2 seasons has been, you know, just amazing. And frankly, this season them being first in the East is even better. So yeah.
Yeah, nah, I mean that's not a bad pick at all. I'm not even like I'm not like yeah, JB Biggerstaff, it looked like he completely transformed Detroit. And I'm gonna say this real quick and Cole, you can say what you want to say, but like I remember I was going into this year completely thinking that Detroit wasn't gonna improve because they got rid of Malik Beasley. They replaced him with Duncan Robinson, and I think just JB Biggerstaff's system in general just completely proved me wrong. So yeah, just props to JB.
Yeah, I think he's a completely good choice too. I think I just expected the Pistons to be like a top three seed in the East. I didn't expect him to be one. So yeah, he definitely deserves a lot of credit for that. But I don't know. I think I was just a little bit more surprised with the Celtics. And when it comes down to it, I feel like Coach of the Year award is kind of an award that feels to be given more so to like the team that overperformed expectations versus like which coach actually like X's and O's and like rotations the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
No, I
fair.
get that. I get that. So yeah, moving on, we got the all rookie team. I'm pretty sure we all got the same three like guys. Is it okay if I like say them?
Hmm.
So Khan, Cooper, VJ, we all got them right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got him.
Okay, so the last two can definitely go up for speculation. Since I went first, Kobe, you can go first since you're the guest.
Um, who'd you already say?
I I was like Khan, Cooper Flag, VJ. I can give you my whole list if you want.
Con Cooper, BJ, VJ. I'm gonna have to go. What's my boy down in down in New Orleans?
Oh, Derek Queen.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
Derek
on my
Queen.
list too. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's there. I think he's definitely on that list. Trying to think of my fifth. I don't even know if I have a fifth. I might be missing somebody. I know I'm missing somebody, but Derek Queen is definitely on my list for all rookie team. I think um I think it's interesting because they're trying to find a way to carve out a path for him. And I think it's taken longer than we all expected it to. I don't know why. It's New Orleans, so anything is going to be bad with them. But that being said, I think they just have got to figure out a way to continue to carve out his path because I think he's one of the bright big men in this league that has a bright future ahead of him. So yeah, he's definitely on my list. I'm interested to hear what y'all got though.
Yeah. Um
Can I
for
guess your fifth, right?
yeah, for sure, bro.
Is your fifth Cedric Howard?
No, it is not.
Okay, okay. I would
I
okay.
assumed I assumed you were gonna say Cedric Coward, so I was like,
No,
I'm
he's
gonna try to
he's
think.
not on mine. I was just
Oh
wondering if you
wow.
had him.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So my fifth is actually Dylan Harper.
Okay, I have
Um,
him too. I
I
have
had him as my fifth. I just think his season
mm,
has been so up and down that I'm kind of like, is
I
he
get that.
going
I
to
get
make
that.
first team? Is
I
he
get
going to
that.
make first team? That's my question. I know he's going to make a team. Will it
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
first team? I think is my question with him because it's been so up and down. Like one night he's a killer, the next night you're not sure what you're gonna get from him. Jumper took a little while to
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
going. I'm very interested to see where he falls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all rookie, I feel like I usually tend to weight it more heavily toward the end of the season when you see these guys have like a more consistent role. Like
Mm.
Dylan Harper, especially is playing on a team with, like such a good like guard rotation. That it like took him a while to seem to get consistent minutes. And like you said, with the jump shot like coming around there toward the end. Um, and the defense is way further along than I thought it would be as well. In college,
Mhm.
I thought his defense was passable. I thought he was gonna be a fine defender. He's really strong. He's like a 6'5" guard. So like the tools were definitely there to be a fine defender. But I actually think he's been pretty good this year. And that like leads me into my fifth guy, a guy who I pretty much only have on here because of defense in his role is Colin Murray Boyles of the Toronto
Ooh, yeah,
Raptors.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
My
Yes,
last spot was a tough those four I had kind of like a tier above everybody else. I was pretty confident about them. But then between Kyler Murray, Boyles, Derek Queen, as Yatu mentioned, and then the other one was Cedric Howard. I had a tough decision between those guys, but I kind of just value Kyler Murray Boyles like doing what he's doing on like a team that has like playoff aspirations and like hopes to go further. I think he's been very valuable to them. And you watch them when he's on the floor, they have like one of the best defenses in the league. And I think when it comes to awards, like especially all rookie awards, I think we tend to see people just vote for like who scores the most points and stuff. But I feel like his overall impact as somebody who will probably never score a lot of points per game in his career because that's just not like the type of player he is. But somebody I really like pre-draft, I just wanted to give him his flowers because I think he's been super impactful. Cedric Howard is like kind of falling off a little bit, and honestly, I think the defense has been very disappointing from him. I thought that was one of the selling points in so far in the NBA. I don't think that's been that great. I think he's like mostly been more of an offensive guy.
Mm.
Um, and I don't know. I watch a lot of Pelicans basketball. I really like Derek Queen. Like coming into the draft, I was upset how it worked. I wish they would have just drafted him at 7 because it kind of like soured the situation on him for a lot of people. Like the way they ended up getting Derek Queen. Um, but it's just been some tough rotations for him. Like you'll watch a game and he'll go to the bench and they'll go on like a huge run because the defense is still pretty bad, even though he shows a lot of like offensive flashes. And I think he'll be a really good player in the future. But I think for now, I'll probably go with CMB on the all rookie team.
It's cool if we go on to all defense.
For
I'll go with
sure.
that.
For
All
sure.
right, Cole, you want to go first then, bro?
Yeah, honestly, this one was the toughest for me. Like when I was making it,
Yeah.
I kind of wish there was some semblance of positions. Like I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of felt weird like putting three bigs on my team because I'm like you're not. But okay,
Bro,
so
I'm still used to 2K. That's why, bro. That's why, literally.
yeah, I had Wemby, Rudy Gobert, Chet
Mm.
Holmgren. I thought those three were like on the tier of like guys I just couldn't leave off the first team. And then the last two guys, it was pretty tough for me, but I ended up going with Scotty Barnes and Derek White,
Mm.
I think, as well.
Mm. I like those two. I like that.
For Wemby, Rudy, and Chet, just three of the best rim protectors in the league, like three anchors of their defense, all on really, really great defenses. Wemby and Rudy especially, they'll probably be the top two in defensive player of the year. I'm sure Wemby will probably beat out Rudy Gobert this year for the first time. Um, as long as he plays enough games, which he's on pace to right now.
Yeah.
Scotty Barnes, I've just been amazed with his defense this year. I've always thought he was a pretty good defensive player. But just his overall versatility and like truly being the anchor of his team is like a wing forward has like been pretty amazing to me. And then Derek White, maybe some guys like Bam Adebayo or somebody might have a better case than him. But what Derek White does as a
NBA
guard,
legend.
like being the level of rim protector that he is, like I don't know. I think he should be all NBA, bro. Not just all defensive. I think Derek White should be an all NBA player this year because I think the defense along with the offense has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, I get that. I get that. Derek White, he's definitely one of the most underrated players in the league. Uh,
Yeah.
Kobe, you want to give your list and now I'll go after you?
Sure. Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, this is tough because I love. Honestly, I love that we've gone positionless because it kind of makes it more interesting. Like in the fact that like honestly,
Yeah.
we used to have to throw people out there that just generally didn't deserve to be on these lists because we had to go with a position.
No, that's
But
fair.
Yeah, that's real.
I
That's
think I
real.
gotta go. I think I gotta go Wimby. I gotta go Jalen Duran. I think his
Mm.
impact on the game has been insane. I think I'm going Kawhi. For
Mm.
what he's been able to do in LA. Derek White, like you already covered it, and then I love what you said with Scotty Barnes. I think he's probably one of the most elite wing defenders in the league right now. So
Where? So for me, I'm surprised y'all didn't say one guy that I feel like should have been like a non-negotiable on this list. That isn't a center. But I'm a go down because I feel like it was a little bit different. So I got Chet Holmgren, Wemby, Asor Thompson, OG Anunoby, and then this guy who I feel like is arguably the best defensive guard. I got Cason Wallace. So reason why I got Cason Wallace, I mean, bro, I've seen him shut down some of the best guards in the league. Right now, he has a defensive rating of 104. And I just feel like he's the perfect guy that they can bring up off the bench to guard some people's best players. Sometimes he's even started in games where players have been injured. And I just feel like he's been playing out of his mind and has really been contributing to OKC's winning culture lately. especially at a young age because he's what like 23 or something like that. He's not old. You know, Chet Holmgren, very athletic. He stepped up. I'm really appreciative that I got to see Chet like do his thing, especially not only in the finals, but without the presence sometimes like iHeart's been out. J Dub's been consistently out, so he's been really helping defensively. Wemby, it's Wemby. I don't really gotta say much. Asar Thompson. I just feel like he's a great defender that really contributes towards Detroit's game plan. They really specialize in really roughing up people. And not to say like Asar is the most aggressive guy, but I think he really contributes in playing hard defense. And he reminds me of like a more athletic Matisse Thybulle. And so OG Anunoby, my last player, I just feel like he's a solid wing defender who can guard your best player. And he has a defensive rating of roughly 111, which is like at league average. But kind of similar to like Derek White, he's arguably guarding somebody's best player every single night. So yeah, that's why I got those guys.
I like that list. I really do like that list.
Yeah, I think Asar Thompson was definitely my toughest leave off. Like that's my guy. So like
Mm,
I've like damn near should have had him on there. That's what made it tough for me. Was the guy I was thinking of when I said it's tough when you gotta like put three centers on there. I would just felt bad leaving off one of the centers.
yeah,
Who is like the anchor of the defense to like put Asar on there.
yeah,
Um,
I get that.
but yeah, no, I think yeah, I don't really have any complaints with that list at all. Honestly, I think that's a good list.
Yeah. So we good with all NBA?
Yep.
All right, that. So all NBA, I have Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Nikola Jokic, Jalen Brown, Cade Cunningham, and Luka Doncic. Um, so the only reason why I feel like because Ant was like very close to being in my first team, I feel like he definitely deserves it. I mean, he's been playing out of his mind this year. The only reason why I kept him out of this list is because I feel like the Timberwolves have been a little bit more inconsistent than a lot of these other guys' teams. I know there could definitely be a little bit of an argument with Denver because of what's going on lately. But I just think like when Nikola Jokic basically averaging like a triple double since he's been injured, it kind of like negates it a little bit. But yeah, that's my first or my All NBA first team.
Yeah, I think I got a bit of a different list. I like your list.
I'm
It
not
gives you
mad
a
at
lot
it.
more
Yeah,
input. Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
yeah,
I think I got a little bit of a different list though.
Kobe, I'm trying to hear yours.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think I'm going Shea. I'm going Jokic. Um, I'm throwing Luca on mine personally.
yeah.
Um, I think Lakers are the best, if not the second best. I'm pretty sure they're the best team in clutch time this season. Um, and I think what he's been able to do as far as like just on a night in, night out basis, you always know Luca puts up stats.
Mm,
Um, but I think him holding it down through like just so many different lineups this season, just because you know, obviously Bron's in and out.
yeah.
He's not really playing. He wasn't. I don't. I think he's starting to play more back to backs now, but for the majority of the season, he hasn't played any back to backs. Obviously, AR was out for a good portion
Mm,
of the season. Um, and the numbers remain the same, and he kept them in the win column.
mm,
I know people don't believe that the Lakers are much of a contender, and I'm okay with that. Because I think the way that the team is currently constructed, like it'll be interesting. But overall, I think just what Luka's been able to do, I think he's definitely on that first team list. I, yeah, man. So Luka obviously deserves to be on there. Think after that. I know a lot of people want to put Cade on the list, but I think I seen a report that came out today that he was like 5 games away from missing, from being ineligible for the list.
yeah,
There's a collapse lung, bro. He's not gonna make it. So
yeah.
that just throws a wrench in things. Some people probably didn't even have him on their list to begin with, but I did. So I think I'm at Shea, Luca. I'm going Jokic. Um, like I said earlier, bro, I'm going Kawhi. I'm throwing Kawhi on there. I think I have to, just
Yeah, that's
for
a good one.
what
That's a
he
good one.
was. Yeah, like if they make the playoffs, bro. Oh my goodness. Oh
It's
my
gonna be
goodness.
interesting playoffs with Kawhi by himself. I'm interested to
That's
see
what
how
I'm
that goes.
saying.
Yeah,
With him by himself, and I think the scariest part about it is like that team was really ready to call it quits for you know what I'm saying? They were really
yeah,
ready to call it quits, and he's been
yeah.
able to will them to what seems to be is going to be a playoff spot. So
Mm,
Shea, Luca, Jokic, Kawhi, and I think I'm going Wemby. I think he's gonna. I think
that's a good one.
he makes the. I think he makes the cut, and I think he'll. If he's eligible, I think he makes the team. He has to.
Mm. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I feel like if he doesn't make it this year, this is his last year not making it.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure. I could see him not making it, but like you said, if he doesn't, it's his last year not.
yeah. Go, what you got, bro?
Yeah, I actually had the same list as Kobe after
Mm,
Cade's collapsed lung. I had Cade on there over Luca, so I had like Luca as the six guy, Kawhi as the five guy.
mm,
Um, I don't know. I like that one was a tough one for me between like Luca and Kawhi when I was deciding that at first. I think I mm, probably lean Kawhi a little bit more because by Luka standards, this has felt like a disappointing season at times.
and that, yeah,
Versus like other seasons that he's had. And I don't know if that's like necessarily fair to him because I was also like pretty surprised by Kawhi's health this season. Like if you told me Kawhi was going to be on pace to play over 65 games, I probably would have been shocked. But I think both of them have
yeah,
just had amazing seasons, and I just think it's like no doubt that you have Shea, Jokic, and Wemby. I think those have been the three best players in the league this year. And then the last two guys, I think you have a bunch of players fighting for. Like Ray mentioned, Jalen Brown. I think I would have Jalen Brown as well as Derek White on my second team. I think like very
mm,
highly of both of them. And I think the thing keeping Jalen Brown off of like my first team personally is sort of like how highly I think of Derek White because I don't look at this as much of like a
mm,
Jalen Brown carry job as I think a lot of people do.
mm.
Like I don't know if you guys heard, but Kenny Atkinson was coming out talking about he thinks Derek White is a top five player in the league. I
Yeah.
wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that
Yeah,
far.
yeah, that's a bit of a
I,
drag, but
I
I
know
get
I
what he
know
was
he's
trying to
I
Yeah,
know
say.
what he's looking at. He's probably
Yeah.
when like dunks and threes looking at like EPM and like estimated wins and stuff
yeah,
and like wrap them and stuff. And I like all those analytics and stuff, but I don't take it as far as him to like take it that like literally. But I do think he's probably pushing top 10 impact on the league this year. So I do think I would have Derek White on my second team.
yeah, yeah.
And for Jalen Brown, like some of the on off stuff, like them being better when he's off the court, like it'll say that. I think you still need that offensive engine to carry the load when he's in there. And I think if you went like a full season without Jalen Brown, I
Mm,
think it would look a lot different because I think him taking on that much of the offensive load like allows other players to do other things. And I think that
mm,
is one limitation with analytics. Like for as much as I love analytics, I think it does overlook that. So I definitely think he deserves an All NBA spot. But I would think I would just have both of them on the second team if it was up to me.
mm.
And just leave Jalen Brown off the first team.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I understand that. Is it cool if we go to the most improved?
Oh, for sure.
All right, bet that. So for my most improved player, I have Nikhil Alexander Walker. My fault, my guy. Currently he's averaging 20.3 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, and 3.7 assists on 44% from the field. I just kind of knew ATL had a steal with Nikhil just based off of his performances with the Timberwolves. It was obvious that he was one of like a great defensive slashing guard, but I didn't know that he would have this offensive breakout. He's literally averaging like 10 more points than he has last year, which is really impressive. And he's a big reason for the Hawks still being in playoff contention despite it being like a transitional year for the franchise. So that's who I have. Who do y'all guys have?
Man, I think this one is tough because
Yeah,
it
it's
can
a tough
go
one.
to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It can go to Nikhil. It can go to Denny. I love what Denny is doing in
Mm,
Portland, bro.
mm,
Um, it can go to Jalen Duren. I don't think anybody expected this type of offensive output for him, and
right.
I think his case only gets stronger because I think he was already probably like top three in odds. I think
Mm,
his case only gets stronger if Detroit can somehow find a way to continue to win, and he continues to put up the numbers that he's putting up, and probably has to put up even better numbers if they're going to continue to win without Cade. Um, but I think for me, Jalen Johnson is the
mm. That's a good
guy.
pick. That's a good pick.
Um, Yeah, I think Jalen Johnson has to be the guy, and for the simple fact that like I think, and obviously Ray, we spent a lot of time in Atlanta,
Yeah, yeah,
so we know that like that's Trey Young country. Like
yeah, yeah,
you say anything bad about Trey Young in Atlanta, like you would swear Trey Young is AI, Kobe, literally
On
like
God, bro. They
you
love
spend
Trey
enough
Young in
time
Atlanta, bro.
yeah, you spend enough time in Atlanta and like you gonna be like,
Yeah.
is his name still Trey Young? Like I'm not sure his name is still Trey Young. You spend enough
That's
time
Ice
in Atlanta.
Trey.
Ice Trey,
Yeah,
literally.
Ice
Like,
Trey.
um, that being said, with him being, hurt for a good portion of the season, they go and get Chris Tapps, I believe it was, and they thought that Chris Tapps was going to be effective for them, and he's hurt most of the season. It just felt like their whole roster at times was completely decimated, and I think that is a portion of the reason that like you were saying, Nikhil Alexander Walker was so good. I think that that's a
Yeah.
portion of the reason that Alexander Walker has had to step up, and frankly, I think his step up has been something to see and something great to see. But I think that doesn't happen without the impact that Jalen Johnson has had on that
Hmm.
team. And I think Jalen Johnson is the leader of that team. I think we all knew Jalen Johnson was going to be good. I don't know if we expected him to be this good this fast. I think this was a major step in the right direction for him. Um, yeah, bro. I think it has to be. I think it has to be
Yeah.
Jalen Johnson,
Yeah,
which is
I'm not
funny
mad at
because
that pick.
it
Yeah.
came from it came from Atlanta last year too, didn't it? I think it was Dyson Daniels last year.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not mad at that pick at all, especially because we got guys on the same team, but I think they both made like insane impacts. So yeah.
yeah.
Cole, what about you, bro?
I think mine, Kobe mentioned him, but I think I will go with Jalen Duren. We talked about him a little bit in
That's a
this
good
pod
pick. Yeah.
already, but yeah, made his first All-Star game this year. That was kind of unexpected in my book. In all honesty, I kind of expected Jalen Johnson to make the All-Star game this year because I thought he had a very strong case last year before he got hurt. So I kind of came in this year with pretty high expectations for him. And I like Jalen Duren like almost pretty much like only because he's from Philly. Like I don't have like any like pre-draft
Yeah.
stuff where I just like love Jalen Duren or anything like that. Like I've just always rooted for him just because he's from Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Um, but I didn't even expect him to like be anywhere close to the All-Star game this year, frankly. I just expected him to be like a starting level center. And now he's an all-star and he's probably gonna get a max extension in the all season. So I think he would probably be like my pick if I was a voter.
Mm.
But I think a sleeper guy that we haven't really mentioned, I don't think. We mentioned him a little bit like earlier, but not in this part. I
Mm.
think to me is Kata.
I
Definitely
get that.
deserves
I
vote
get
for this
that.
as
I get
well.
that. Yeah, that's not a bad pick. As
Um,
much as I
Yeah,
don't.
I think he's a great
Mm.
impact pick. I think his
Yeah.
numbers just won't be well, it won't be good enough for him to get the award. And I have no problem talking about him.
yeah.
We can definitely talk about him.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think he's a great impact pick. I think his numbers are just a little bit lower than what they need to be or what they would need to be for him to win that award. But I think his improvement is insane because last year he didn't look like an NBA big at all.
One God.
So
One
Yeah, no,
God.
I completely
God.
agree.
Sixth man of the year. Is that cool if I go for it? I think I punched in AJ Mitchell for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Right now, he's averaging 14.3 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, and 3.7 assists. I think nobody was expecting him to have the type of impact that he's had on a championship level team like the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think with a team like this, they always have moments where they have offensive or like where they're like they have like stagnant offense, excuse me. And AJ Mitchell is one of those guys that they look to, and he always figures out how to generate some offense. And I mean, man, like I've just been really impressed by AJ Mitchell because I didn't even know who he was, and I'm really excited to see how he's going to grow within the league because I think he's going to be a prominent player for years to come.
I think that's a good pick. I had him number two only because he's sitting at 48 games right now, and
I
Jaime
get
Jaquez
that.
has had like a similar level of impact off the bench and has played 64.
Mm,
So I want Jaime Jaquez like literally only because he's played 16 more games, which is a very significant amount. But I
another good
love the
pick,
AJ
yeah,
Mitchell pick. He would be in my top three for sure.
yeah.
yeah, AJ Mitchell is a definitely a great pick, but I gotta roll with Cole on this one. Jaime Jaquez is
Okay, okay.
he's been that guy. He's
Nah,
good.
yeah, no, I get that. I get that. I mean, the Heat, they've definitely been an interesting team this year. And hey, we gonna see what they do this year. Hopefully they're not the Heat of like every single year where they're fighting for the play-in, but you never know. Um, Defensive player of the year. I think we all got the same. Well, actually, no, we might not. I got Wemby.
Fine with that. Yeah,
I
Y'all,
got
y'all also got Wemby.
yeah.
yeah, I think
All
that's
right, yeah. So we
consensus.
we can't even clip this. So the clip would just be like defensive player of the year, Wemby. Yeah,
Congrats to
man,
Big
it's
Ward, big
Wemby.
bro.
Yeah,
It's
no doubt.
Wemby, bro. It's Wemby, bro.
First of many.
Yeah. Um. Okay, so we'll just go. We got the rookie of the year and then the MVP. So, rookie of the year. I know it's been a hard race right now. I think my decision might change within the month just because of how close it is. But right now, I have Con Knipple, for the Charlotte Hornets. I don't know if you guys have the same.
Yeah, it's not even close. I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
I didn't
honest
think it
with
was
you.
close either. I'm gonna be honest. I agree with Kobe.
It's
Mm.
genuinely not even close. What the Hornets have been able to do, um, what the Hornets have been able to do since what is it? Since All-Star break, like, and
Yeah.
him being a very, very big factor in that. And I think this is the tough part about about when you look at preseason odds, right? And like I think Hoop was like minus 300 or something in the preseason or
Yeah, he was
whatever
running
it
away
is.
with that rookie
Yeah,
of the year award.
yeah, at the beginning of the season, and I kept telling people like, bro, you gotta wait on Rookie of the Year because Rookie of the Year, while while a lot of it has to do with how well you play, a lot of Rookie of the Year has to do with it's kind of the same thing as MVP. Like if it's close, it comes down to how many games your team won.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the fact that the Hornets are in playoff contention right now, I think they're probably play in contention, I should say.
yeah,
Um, if it's close, it comes down to how many games you won and what your impact was coming down the stretch of the season. And every game that Cooper Flag sits on the bench, and every game that Con Nipple plays and goes out and hits four threes, and you know
yeah,
what I'm saying, like
yeah,
has a big impact on, excuse me, on their winning percentage. Like that's more and more days that he just keeps running away with it. So like me and Cole said, I don't think it's even close. I think Con Nipple is the runaway favorite.
yeah. I mean, I understand that. Even to like piggyback off of you, I think when we saw Cooper Flag kind of struggle in the beginning, it really opened that gate to have other rookies to showcase their abilities. Like that's why we got a lot of people talking about VJ. That's why we had a lot of people, talking about Derek Queen at one point.
Yeah,
So it's like it's really cool to see that Khan is not only like showing that he is the rookie of the year, but also again like he could be somebody that's here for a long time, especially because the Charlotte Hornets are like arguably playing the best basketball they've ever played, like in our lifetime, like for real, for real. Like I never seen the Hornets this tough ever. Um, so yeah, bro. MVP. I think for this. Honestly, I got Shea, bro. I really got Shea, and he's my clutch player of the year too. We didn't really talk about that, but like I felt like I had him as my MVP just because he's had a legendary season so far. 31.7 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 6.6 assists, 54.9% from the field. And I know we talked a lot about SGA on this show. He's like one of our favorite players. Um, and I saw like a TikTok video talking about how he's having a similar season to Michael Jordan, being one of the guards that's averaging 30 and averaging over 50% from the field. However, what a lot of people aren't talking about is he's very close to being the first guard ever to average that type of stat from with 55% from the field. So essentially, he's averaging more from the field than Jordan is like at like percentage by percentage in a sense. So he's having like a crazy insane season this year. So that's why I gave him my MVP.
Yeah, no complaints from me. I have him for my MVP and my clutch player of the year. Yeah, I think it's just been another unreal season for him. I thought last year I was like very, very like split between him and Jokic, and this year I have like a little bit more confidence, like
Mm,
picking Shea. I think part of it is because like Jokic's team is like been worse in the standings than they were last year, and they've kind of like had a tough time, and it's kind of easy. Like look at the Nuggets, a team that had like championship aspirations, and they still do. But I know that me and you personally, right, had them
Yeah.
like top two in our standings, like in the West.
Yeah.
And right now they're not really like close to that, quite frankly. So I think it's like easy to look at like a team season like disappointing like that, and then like kind of forget how great a player is. Not necessarily forget, but kind of like downplay how great a player is just because their team is
Mhm.
like not had as great of a season.
Yeah. Yeah. Kobe, you got another MVP? Are you agreeing with us, bro?
Yeah, I agree with y'all slightly. I
Okay.
think Shay's clearly gonna win it. My MVP though is definitely Jalen Brown. For the same
Okay.
reason
I'm
I
not.
gave
I'm
it
not.
to
That's not a
yeah.
crazy. That's not crazy. Pop it, bro. Like, why you choose Jalen Brown?
Okay, I'll say it like this. Shay is gonna win MVP. My MVP is Ant. The impact MVP is Jalen Brown. That's how I
Okay.
would say it.
Okay.
Shay's gonna win. He should, rightfully so. Ant is my MVP because honestly, it's just probably one of my favorite players in the league right now. Everything he does, Ant has all the MVP moments. He has MVP numbers. Statistically, is one of the best guards in the league. Probably number two behind Shea, frankly.
Bro,
Um,
you not to cut you up, but bro, you seen that commercial with Obama?
Yeah, bro.
Tough,
Like, come
bro. It's
on, bro.
tough.
Like,
Tough.
he's the people's champ right now,
Yeah,
bro. Like, he's literally the people's champ right now. And every night he goes out and puts on display why he's the people's champ right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, yeah.
he's not gonna win no chip. Probably not. I don't want to say not anytime soon, but I don't. I just don't see it right now with the
Mm,
way that OKC is playing, the way that the West is stacked up, and the
mm.
way that the East, when it comes back, will be stacked up. I don't know how soon Ant will win a chip, but he's the people's champ in all of our hearts. Ant is the guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Nah, I 1,000% get that. Before we go, since we basically went over everything, Kobe, just want to thank you for appearing on the Let It Game pod. Really appreciate that, man. Before we like basically close out after the end of every time we talk, like Cole asks a question, not only to me but every guest that we have.
In the spirit of March Madness, I know we already have had some like games happen already, but is there like a game in the first round that y'all saw when you were like filling out your bracket that you were like especially excited for,
um,
or that we could see later on down the line if that one's easier?
a game, a game that I was excited for. VCU UNC. I'm from Virginia, so
Mm,
that one was always gonna be like a game that I'm excited for. I just love seeing VCU play, and honestly, I had them winning because I don't think that UNC was a very good team to begin with. Um, and then the loss of Caleb Foster, like I'm just not sure how good they are.
mm.
That being said, yeah, I think that was a game that I was excited for. I'm always excited to see Darius Acuff play. I think he's elite of the elite. I'm trying to think of an upset that I had that um what is an upset that I had? I didn't predict the High Point upset. That was insane. Um Oh, I was excited to see South Florida play Louisville. I thought South Florida was going to pull it out. They didn't,
Mm.
obviously, but
I had that one, so I ain't gonna
I
lie.
thought they would. Um, Trying to think. Yeah, bro, I think that was about it. So first round wasn't all that intriguing to me. I did
Yeah.
have a couple of upsets,
Love
but
that.
yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, in my first four, obviously, like I said, I'm a Virginia guy, but I'm a HBCU guy first. So
Oh, facts, facts, facts. Yeah.
seeing Howard win
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Seeing Prairie View win was great. Yeah, I think those two were amazing. And then obviously the big shot from the Texas NC State game. I think the first four this year was amazing bump.
Hmm.
I think that was an amazing bump.
Mm.
Those three games at least. Miami of Ohio and SMU wasn't that great. I mean, it was still a good bump, but I think that those first three games were elite basketball.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I think the game I'm most excited for is Texas BYU. It starts in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. AJ DeMance is always fun to watch. I know they're down Richie Saunders, but I think this makes the matchup a little bit more intriguing because I think if BYU had him, I think they'll probably roll Texas. But now it's
Yeah.
like for us all on AJ and Rob Wright's shoulders. I really like Dalen Swain to Texas. He's probably one of my like favorite draft guys that the Sixers could potentially have with the Rockets pick. But he's always fun for me to watch too. So
Who
Mm.
hopefully
y'all's
that's a good
favorite?
game.
Who y'all got winning the whole thing?
I got Duke, but that's because I'm biased. I'm biased. Like,
So I picked Duke, but I'm hoping that Patrick Gongba comes back because if Patrick Gongba doesn't come back, I do not feel good, and I think Michigan's going to win. I think
Think who's
I
gonna win,
think,
bro?
huh?
You think who's gonna win?
I'd say if Patrick Gongba's not back, I think I have Michigan.
Who did you say? Michigan?
I mean, you don't like Michigan? Damn, my bad.
I'm not a big fan. I don't think. I think Elliot Cadeau's a
oh, you're like
decent
Elliot
guard.
Cadeau?
I
Dang,
think
he
he's
tough.
decent, bro. We've seen Elliot Cadeau, bro. Here's the thing: we've seen Elliot Cadeau, bro. Like we
Mm.
saw him before he got to Michigan. He's
Yeah,
good.
UNC. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, he's good, but he's not like I don't know. And honestly, I think if they play a team with some size, like I said this the other day, I don't think Yaxel Lindenborg is that good. I think I think in college size plays a very big factor in how good you are as a player, and I think you can get away with a lot more if you're, that physically imposing. But I think if they play a team with some size, like I hope that they catch a UVA matchup at some point, like later
Mm.
down the line, and somebody really puts a real true stop to that. Like I want them to get far and have to play like some good bigs, like have to play Arizona at some point or have to play UVA at some point and see some bigs that's like, you know what I'm saying? That's like there's like top tier bigs, and then I think we're gonna find out how good Yaxel Lindenborg is. If you go and watch his games from the season, like when he had to play some size down low, he didn't look great. He didn't look great. I don't think he has a very good bag. I don't think his tools are elite. I think he's just that much more physically imposing than everybody that he gets away with a lot. But when you saw him play against Cade, like or not Cade, um Cam Boozer, like when you see him play against the Boozer, like
He had a good game that game, bro.
he played decent, bro. But I'm saying like it took him a little second to heat up, but it took him a little second to heat up, took him a little second to figure it out. I just don't think he's that. I'm just not a big fan, and I think if he sees some size, like I don't know, I
No,
don't know.
I like Michigan's front court a lot. I think Mario and Marez Johnson are both nice. Cadeau is like impressed me. I wasn't a big Cadeau guy when he was at UNC, but I don't know. I think he's been better this year than I gave him
I
credit
think
for.
he's definitely been better. He's improved for sure.
Yes.
I
I
like
need
feel
to see it.
confident when
I
he's
just
shooting
need
the
to keep
ball.
seeing it. I need to keep seeing it.
Yeah.
And March Madness, one game
Hmm.
can
Yeah.
be the end.
Nah, that's real. That's real. Um, so just Kobe, I want to thank you for being on the pod. This has been like a really fun episode. You know, I'm really excited for not only just what the league has for the future, but just like what us individually got going on. We just growing in general. Is there anything you want to tell like, younger viewers or any viewer that's watching the pod, like any words of advice or just what you got or if you want to say anything?
Just keep working, bro. Just keep working. All this stuff can change overnight. Trying, my fault.
No, you're
I
good.
almost let one slip, man. I almost let one slip. All this stuff can change overnight, bro. All of it. Like, just keep working. You never know when your break is coming. Um, I appreciate y'all for having me. I'm good to pull up on you anytime, bro. Football season,
Sure, for
basketball
sure.
season, it don't matter. You my guy, and I love to see what you got going on. I think this is a great platform. I think what y'all are doing is amazing. I remember when you first texted me about doing something like this, and like I was like, yeah, bro, like Ray got it, Ray got it. So, yeah, bro, I just appreciate y'all having me, and keep working, bro. Keep working. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, like literally like without you, this podcast wouldn't be a thing. I don't know if you've seen the episode, but I literally like shouted all y'all out one episode like way back when we first
Oh damn,
started.
I think I
So
missed it.
like,
I think I
bro,
missed it.
it's cool, bro. But like, that's why you deserve to get the flowers. So appreciate you again for coming on the pod. Yeah, man, this is only the beginning, man. We're going crazy this year. Let It Game Pod. Shout out your pod, man. I'm gonna put the link in, bro.
For sure. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it for sure.
Yeah, bro. So yeah, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one. Boom.